Look at the skin-like texture of it. It looks so freaking beautiful. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It feels good to be filming. I don't know why it feels like I haven't filmed in a while. I haven't filmed over the weekend. That's why it feels like I... Yeah. So if you're new here, it is Wear Test Wednesday, and if you don't know what that is, every Wednesday I test out a new product, mostly foundations, and I test the wear time on them. So today we are going to be testing out the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. I have been so excited to try this out. Now, I actually have worn this a few times already, several times already. So I've already started to develop my opinions on it. I've already tried it with like different applications, different primers and stuff like that. I do know that with Bobbi Brown foundations, honestly, what I've found with most of them is that most of the time they work better without a primer. So I'm gonna totally skip the primer today. I have tried this with several different primers. I've tried it with the Origins Original Skin Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer with Willow Herb. What is up with companies and all these freaking long names? Oh! I just dropped it. I've tried it with the Tatcha Silk Canvas. What's the other foundation or primer that I tried it with? It was the Tatcha Silk Canvas primer that I feel like it really didn't work well on. I didn't notice much of a difference with the Origins primer, but the Silk Canvas I feel like it didn't really wear well on. So I'm just gonna totally skip the primer for today because with Bobbi Brown, I feel like it works better that way. So let's get into the information. So I have it pulled up on my Sephora app right here, and I'm just gonna give you guys the lowdown of like all the promises and everything about the product. It says that it is a full coverage, and it says it's for normal, combination, and oily skin, so not for dry, and that it has a natural finish with an SPF of 15. A 16-hour wear, buildable, medium to full coverage foundation with a natural, multi-dimensional matte finish that's comfortable, breathable, and weightless. Okay, it has a really long like what it does section. Like both of these paragraphs right here are what it does, so I'm just gonna read the first paragraph because I feel like that's enough. It says, created through a high-speed cold fusion process, this ultra silky emulsion features a perfectly balanced blend of skin-loving ingredients, oil-controlling actives, and skin-true pigments with 16-hour wear. Incredibly smooth and blendable, it glides on with a second skin feel and multi-dimensional matte finish. Pigments are precisely balanced through artistry expertise to skin's top tones and undertones to deliver the most natural looking shade range for all skin tones. Formulated without parabens, sulfates, and phthalates. And then there's a bunch of other information about it that will just be too much to read in this video, but you can always read more about it on the Sephora website or from Bobbi Brown. Under the how to use section, it says apply to clean, moisturized skin with a sponge or brush of your choice. Use Bobbi Brown's foundation brush or full coverage face brush. Both sold separately for best results. I am going to use a sponge because I have tried it with a brush and a sponge, and I do find that I actually like this foundation better with the sponge, so I'm going to be using my beauty blender today. Why can I never... I have like all these places to put my stuff. Like I have a little thing to hold my mascaras, a little thing to hold my lip liners. Obviously I have things to hold my brushes, but I still just drop them on the counter like subconsciously. Like as I'm doing my makeup, I'm just like throwing it down, you know? And I'm just like, why do I not put them in their place? I don't know. Subconsciously, I'm just a very messy person, and I think I'll just always be that way, and I have to try extra hard to be organized and clean. It just doesn't come naturally to me. Does anybody else feel that way? I'm just gonna pump this onto my tray, and I'm gonna start with about 3 pumps, which I know sounds like a lot, but this one, for me, it does start out as like a true medium coverage, and I like to build it up a little bit more to get a little bit more coverage. So I'm gonna start in the center of my face and just kind of work outwards. In terms of like the coverage, I would say that I don't think that you can ever build it up to like a true full coverage, you know? Like it's never gonna be like a Huda kind of coverage, you know what I'm saying? Which is okay with me. Like, that's totally fine. I like a good medium to full coverage. So honestly, if you have like perfect skin, then a medium coverage looks like a full coverage on you if you don't have a lot to cover, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have any breakouts, not a lot of redness and stuff like that. You could totally get away with this guy and it will look like a full coverage on you. However, if you struggle with breakouts or like hyperpigmentation or rosacea or anything like that, this is not going to cover that. I can tell you that right off the bat. Because like I have like a little bit of redness right in here that's like from breakouts and stuff like that, and then I have a few breakouts right here and it's like it's not even covering that. This foundation is just a little bit too yellow for me, so I do blend it down my neck really well. And then I'm just gonna take like a quarter of a pump more and just build up in the center of my face just a little bit more, like around my nose especially. And that is that. So it definitely looks very like dewy right off the bat, but I do find that it does mattify a little bit, but I will say that it's on like the natural to dewier side. However, I do still think that it's not so dewy that like oily skin couldn't wear it, you know what I'm saying? I think that it does give a nice glow to the skin, and it does kind of dry down and mattify a little bit throughout the day. So if you have oily skin, I feel like it will be perfectly fine. One thing to keep in mind with anything in Bobbi Brown, and I said this before, but anything in Bobbi Brown is super hydrating. I wouldn't say that this one is like the most hydrating in the world, but compared to their other products, like just their original skin foundation, sorry, my nose is like itching right here, that's why I'm using my beauty blender, but compared to their original skin foundation, that one is way more hydrating. But with this guy, it's not going to be as hydrating, but I think even though it says it's not for dry skin, I totally think that dry skin could wear this and be perfectly fine. So before I apply my concealer and everything, here is how the foundation is looking all by itself. So I'm gonna go and apply my concealer and everything. I have not had any issues blending concealer or anything like that over this, so I'm just gonna go do that off camera. I will see you guys in my next check-in. It is currently 12:06 right now, so I'll see you soon. Alright guys, check-in number 2. So I just got out of the heat running around. I was wearing a sweatshirt because I'm a stupid idiot who wears a sweatshirt everywhere they go, but I do it because even if it's hot outside, I get cold in the building. So like if I'm grocery shopping, I'll get really cold in the grocery store. So I was wearing a sweatshirt and I was just, it was quick errands, so I was in and out, so I actually got really hot because I'm so smart. Foundation still looks absolutely perfect. I mean, look at the skin-like texture of it. It looks so freaking beautiful. Oh my gosh, like look at it. Let's look at the forehead because you know how picky I am on the forehead. Forehead is good. Not amazing, but it's good. I'd wear it again. So far, I'd wear it again. So that's where we are right now. Texture still looks really good. It doesn't look like it has moved at all or created any weird textures or come up throughout like the sweat that I was dealing with a few minutes ago. So, and still kind of right now. I need to go put away my groceries because I just got done grocery shopping. And yeah, so that's where we are right now. I will let you guys know how I'm feeling in a little bit. What's up, you guys? It's my third check-in of the day, which I don't normally do a lot of third check-ins, but you know what? I'm having an extra long day, so here we are. It looks a lot more fallen apart on camera. It actually looks really good in real life. I don't know why my dark circles look alive and well today on camera. Like, wow, what is going on there? I don't know. It is definitely breaking down on my nose. Like, I'm seeing a lot of redness peeking through, and what I've noticed with this foundation in the past is that it will feel like it starts to gather around my pores. Like I can start to see my pores through them. So like if I have any blackheads or anything like that, they'll start to peek through more than anything else. However, the texture stays really nice. It just looks like it starts to separate around the pore area, but everything else like always seems to stay really nicely. And that's been my experience with it today, other than probably the extra sweating that I've been doing. So it's rubbing off around my nose area a little bit more than it normally does. But other than that, that's pretty much how I feel about it so far. And yeah, so I will do one more check-in in just a little bit. Alright guys, I know what it looks like, and quite honestly, it's exactly what it looks like. I had a night of tears, and that is because I am a human being. I didn't want to like touch up my makeup and make it look all perfect. I just wanted you guys to see this, how it is, because this is real life. I want to let you know that everything is totally fine. I'm totally fine. Nothing happened in particular, nothing like that. I just had one of those nights where it's just like, you know, life gets to you. You work towards things in life, and sometimes those things don't work, and you push for things, and sometimes it feels like you're pushing and pushing and just barely moving a centimeter, and it just becomes wearing on you. And sometimes you just flat out feel like a failure, or sometimes you just need to cry just to process things. And that's how I felt tonight. I felt like it was a little bit of everything. I was crying to process. I was crying to grow strength again, you know, because I feel like sometimes whenever you cry, you like, it's like you wake up again and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I feel so much better. I feel refreshed. I've processed everything. I've gotten it out of my system, and it was just one of those nights. So that's where I am. Obviously, my foundation has been cried and rubbed half off because of it. I did just want to hop on here and let you guys know that I do really enjoy this foundation, and I find myself reaching for it again and again and again. Just the texture of it is so beautiful. That's always the experience that I've had with the Bobbi Brown products. All of their products are so skin-like, and they even have skin in the name. The texture of it, absolutely gorgeous. I think that it would be great for any skin type. I know that it doesn't include dry skin, but I think it would work perfectly fine on dry skin. For oily skin, I would probably recommend a good mattifying primer and or some good powder and blotting papers or something like that you can kind of absorb oils throughout the day. However, for someone like me who doesn't have a lot of oil production, it lasted really freaking well. Looks like skin the whole time. Like I said, I do notice it start to separate around like my pores, but nothing that's like super crazy or like gross or anything like that. Nothing that you would really notice unless I were to point it out to you. The coverage will wear off a little bit on the nose. I feel like it always wears off a little bit on the nose for the most part, but like in my cheek area, I feel like it stays really nicely. The forehead doesn't get any weird textures or look dry or cakey or anything like that. All in all, I just feel like it wears really freaking well and keeps a really nice texture. So with all that said, I definitely think that it is worth the $46 that it retails at. Definitely go out of your way for this foundation. Bobbi Brown always has a really good shade range, so you should be able to find your shade no problem. Make sure that you check out some of my other videos before you leave. I promise that I'm not always crying in them. If you are new here, this is not usual. Just make sure to hit subscribe and you'll see that for yourself. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day and that there are no tears in your day, but if there needs to be tears, let there be tears, and always feel encouraged that it's okay to cry. Leave some encouragement down in the comments below. I hope that this encourages you as well, and I will see you all in Friday's video. Thanks for watching. Bye! Honestly, if you have like